And our second bill will be House Bill 577 by Delegate Stewart. One, we have but two bills before us today. The first being House Bill 85. That will be by Delegate Bendari. Delegate Bendari, if you're with us, please start to unmute yourself. And our second bill will be House Bill 577 by Delegate Stewart.
I don't see right.
It looked like it was repeating what I said.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's doing. Maybe it's the delay.
Well, we're going to roll with it. We got to get with the technologies. Hopefully it'll catch up. With that, is Delegate Bendari with us?
Yes.
Would you get us started, please, sir?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman Davis, Vice Chair Dumais, and esteemed members of Economic Matters Committee. And thank you for taking the time to consider House Bill 85, Baltimore County Worker Compensation, Permanent Partial Disability, Detention, and Correctional Officer. This legislation is rather simple, but very important. If passed, it would allow Baltimore County Correctional and Detention Officer to receive the same workers' compensation benefits already available to police officers and firefighters. So far, 5 other counties have passed similar legislation in the wake of Governor Hogan signing HB 205 into law back in 2018. So this would bring Baltimore County in line with some other jurisdiction, including 2 of our neighboring in Arundel County and Howard County. I think that before the pandemic, this was worthwhile legislation, but that it takes on heightened importance as we continue to deal with COVID-19. Correctional and detention facilities across the county have had to deal with COVID outbreaks that have put correctional officers at great risk. And Maryland has not been an exception. Considering we still don't know the long-term ramification of contracting COVID, it is imperative that we make sure that any long-term health ramifications for correctional officers who have contracted the virus are somewhat mitigated by stronger workers' compensation benefits. I worked closely with Chuck Conner from the Baltimore County Executive Johnny Ojeski office, as well as with Dennis Riley from the American Federation of Teachers, Maryland, John Ripley, the union president for the Baltimore County Federation of Public Employees, and our Baltimore County delegation chair. I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their hard work on this bill and for their written and oral testimony in support of this legislation. I thank you all for your time and would request a favorable report on House Bill 85.
Are there any questions for Delegate Bendari? Seeing none. Thank you very much. John Ripley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I would like to thank you for taking this time to hear me regarding this bill. Thank you, Delegate Bendari, for sponsoring this legislation. This is well-deserved and past due legislation to bring Baltimore County correctional officers equal to colleagues around them and our other public safety partners. My name is John Ripley. I'm the president of the Baltimore County Federation of Public Employees, and I'm also a correctional lieutenant with 30 years of service in Baltimore County. Again, the simplest analogy I think that I can give you is in Baltimore County, we have what's considered nationally a mega jail. We have a 15 vehicle inmate sally port. And in that sally port, we literally could have the state police in there, the county police in there, Baltimore County deputies in there, and our other colleagues, our other correctional colleagues from around the region. We could have state correctional officers in there. We could have Prince George's County correctional officers in there, Montgomery County, Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Harford County, all in this one Sally Port, and an incident occur, a major incident occur, and our Baltimore County correctional officers come to their assistance. And I know we're talking hypothetically here, but everyone involved received the same exact injury, and Baltimore County correctional officers would be compensated differently, would be compensated less. And that's simply not fair. This legislation brings us in line with our other public safety partners, both in corrections and public safety of police and fire. I urge your support for HB 85. This is much needed and well-deserved for our dedicated correctional officers. Let's please keep in mind that our correctional officers inside the facility are police, fire, and EMS until outside agencies arrive. Thank you very much for this consideration, and I urge your support for HB 85.
Any questions for Mr. Ripley? Delegate Impelarian and Delegate Walker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ripley, and thank you for your service to the county. I think one of the most important points that's never brought up, and it's not to take away from our law enforcement, that a law enforcement officer goes out every day, he risks his life, he may deal with the criminal element that day, he may not. But a correctional officer deals with a large group of criminal element every single day. There's not a day that he goes in that he thinks he's going to get a pass and not have to deal with that. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand for correctional officers. It's an ongoing threat that they are in an environment with people that are either up on charges or in jail or waiting to go to like Supermax. So thank you for what you do. And for correctional officers and the risk that they take every single day, it would be a very nice place to be in.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. I'd like to point out that in this field of public safety, really and truly, there are 4 pillars to that public safety. We can have the best police and fire departments there are in the state, region, or even in the country, but without the other pillars of corrections and 911, your public safety systems will not be successful. So thank you for recognizing that.
Thank you.
Delegate Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess this bill will go for the sponsor, Delegate Bhandari. You might have said in your testimony, is Baltimore County taking a position on this county delegation?
Yes, they are supporting this bill. Oh, I'm sorry, county, not the delegation. We did not have a meeting, but I had a meeting with the chair, and pretty much he likes the bill. And then the county executive is supporting the bill. I think you have a written testimony from Baltimore County.
Is this the first year you all have brought this bill to Annapolis, or have you had it previous years?
Like last year, Baltimore County was included, but it was carved out. Baltimore County did not have enough time to look at it. So this year, I work over the interim, as I mentioned in the testimony, and they are good.
So the county exec, county council, and delegation are all, even though up here we really just care about delegation, but everybody seems to be good.
So far, I believe, but I need to testify with our county delegation separately as well, and I do strongly believe that they will be good too.
Okay.
Delegate Bhandari, just to follow up on Delegate Walker's question, we would need a letter from the Baltimore County delegation saying that they're supportive of it, as it is a local bill, before we can vote to move forward. So that's sort of the next step in the process. We'll be waiting to get a letter from the delegation saying that they support it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be meeting on Friday as soon as the bill will be heard, and I will be sending a letter of support.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions for Delegate Bhandari? Seeing none. Thank you very much. That concludes.
I think Delegate Brooks has a question, Chair.
Delegate Brooks?
No, just a comment. That it was introduced last year as HB 685. And that's to Delegate Walker's question. Thanks.
Anyone else? If not, that concludes the witness list for those who have signed up for oral testimony for House Bill 85. So we declare that hearing as being held. We will now switch over to House Bill 577 and Delegate Stewart, if he is with us.
I am, Mr. Chair.